Sometimes it's not about the pace, but the production. I'll share a couple examples that illustrate this idea. One from personal experience and one I found while reading through posts on Dentaltown's online message boards. A more thoughtful podcast. Can you believe I started podcasting more than 10 years ago? The first podcast went live September 8, 2014 with Dr. Mike the Man Dotola, who at the time was the Director of Clinical Education at Gladwell. By the end of that decade, I was scheduling multiple back-to-back podcast sessions several times a week because I thought as long as my producer and I were coming into the studio, we might as well maximize our time there. Plus, you may have noticed I like talking to dentists and just talking in general. Over time, though, this breakneck pace wasn't sustainable, so for about a year, I pulled back from podcasting, posting new episodes only sporadically. I greatly enjoyed my time away from the studio chair, but didn't want to give up on podcasting entirely, so we recently went back to the drawing board to determine a focus that would help solidify a plan for who makes a great Dentistry Uncensored guest. My goal with Dentaltown has always been to ensure that no dentist practices alone, and the dentists who tend to need the most help and guidance are the new grads. So I think it makes sense to dedicate Dentistry Uncensored to helping those new dentists find their footing both clinically and as practice owners. If you haven't noticed that I've recently started posting new episodes, shame on you. Subscribe and turn on your notifications. And be sure to tell the younger dentists you know to tune in for lots of advice from dentists who have been in their shoes, often very recently, and have lessons to share. There may be fewer episodes to binge on each week, but the guests and the topics will be more focused on helping dentists, young and old, improve their practice. And you can click here on Dentistry Uncensored. Just go to dentaltown.com/blog /Dentistry Uncensored with Howard Ferran. A savvier production schedule. Dentaltown has an excerpt from one of the busiest message boards on dentaltown.com in which one county asks his fellow dentists if they share practice numbers with their team members. Check it out on Dentaltown. Just search sharing monthly practice numbers at monthly meetings. One thoughtful response came courtesy of Townie Marmaduke, who explained that because his scheduling team knew the daily production goal, they also knew the importance of getting patients with higher margin procedures on the book. Quote, they understood the value of getting implants and ortho case acceptance up because it was less work on the office as a whole for the same amount of production or more as a day of fillings, he says. They're not working harder to earn more, they're working smarter, all pointed together toward the same goal. Whenever I walk into a dental office, I ask the receptionist what the break-even point is for the day. How much does a dental office have to produce and collect to break even? The average collections for a general dental practice location in the U.S. is about $120,000 a month. Assuming an average of about 21 and a half working days per month, this translates to $5,500 a day in collections. So what is the overhead? If your overhead is 50%, you'd have to double that. If the staff doesn't know this number, it's like a football game without a scoreboard. It simply doesn't work. In fact, it's crazy. It's insane. Being thoughtful about what you spend your time on, both inside and outside the operatory, can improve how you see life and practice. Be sure you're living life purposefully. Thank you for your time. If you enjoyed this episode of Howard Speaks, don't forget to subscribe, and share. I appreciate you. Take care, be good, and have a rocking great day.